let's start off with a little bit of history. Can you tell me about how MadPea started? What caused you, why you started MadPea in Second Life? And yeah, it's a G-rated sim. We have to be good. What caused you to think of Second Life as a good basis for games? And how you came to set up MadPea?
Okay, yeah, I joined Second Life in 2007, and it was really something I had never ever seen in my life. And actually, it still is something I've never seen because, like, while there are other virtual worlds, there is like nothing like Second Life, really. And I never thought that I would come here to make games. I've never, well, okay, I did some little games as a kid, but I didn't consider myself to be a game designer or anything. I was just really curious about talking to people and improving my English and improving my writing because I am a writer in real life. And I stupidly chose the name writer. I didn't think I would start writing here actually. So um, then when I actually started to understand this platform, I have to say I had a really long learning curve on, like, how do you do things here? Mostly I just wanted to socialize really. But then when I started to understand and I was like looking at the sims that people were creating and everything, that, oh my God, I have done some pretty interesting stories that maybe I could just actually make them into reality here. And I started to sort of talk about them to people I was meeting, and they got so excited about them, and it just started from nothing really, just a group of people wanting to experiment with things and do sort of strong narratives and turn them into games. And by now, so we started in 2008, and I don't know the exact number now, but it is definitely past 60 the games and experiences that we have done now. I know, it's crazy. And I was like, we just hired some new awesome people to the MadPea crew, and I was just like telling them that I must have just completely gone mad now because, like, we're doing a new game and I'm so excited about it. I'm still just as excited about every single game that we do as I was in the beginning. So in fact, we're working on one game and we have 3 more games in the coming, but we'll talk about that later.
Right. Okay. Yes, we will talk about what's coming later. I was going to ask Kiana, when did you join and how did you get involved in MadPea? I'm sorry, Kess, how did you join? How did you get involved?
I answer to anything, but not usually Kiana. I've been called a lot of things. I originally got involved with MadPea as a DJ. I got asked to DJ a couple of the opening parties and a couple of closing parties, and I'd been doing that, I think, probably for about 18 months before Kiana proposed to me. I mean, literally, she proposed marriage if I would take the job of marketing director. And yeah, I mean, it's lasted a lot longer than most Second Life marriages because I've been there nearly 2 years now.
And your role is to work with marketing, really, but you do all sorts of other things as well.
All sorts of other things. Yeah, my job title has at some points, it started as marketing director, then it was marketing and sales, then it was marketing, sales and PR, then it was marketing, sales, PR, and person that can put animations into chairs. And it started to become this really long job title that we can manage. So we just stick with marketing and PR director now. But as with all jobs, with the team that we've got, everyone pitches in doing different things that are outside of the scope of their normal job to make things happen. You do whatever you need to do.
I took a look behind the scenes because we actually made a designing world. Well, we did 2 designing world shows about MadPea, and It's certainly, you seem to be working pretty constantly. I mean, you have your big games like Unia, The Interview, and so forth coming out, but you have lots of smaller projects going on at the same time, don't you?
I think
Oh,
we
we do.
currently got, just counting off the top of my head, six projects ongoing, 5 or 6 projects ongoing that are actual live projects at the moment, as well as having 3 live games. So we've got six projects in the background and 3 live games at the moment.
And some of your projects are kind of non-gaming ones, aren't they? You're regular contributors at things like the arcade.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we recently underwent a bit of a rebranding exercise within MadPea, and part of that came out of one of the first conversations I had with you when we were planning the Designing Worlds shows, and also when we did this interview last year, is that people ask the question, what does MadPea do? And we gave this long rambling answer. We said, well, we make these big games and we make these smaller games, and we do gachas, and we sell things, and we do events, and we run our own events, and we do art gachas, and we do celebrity auctions. And it was really difficult to sum up what MadPea does in a sentence. So a couple of months ago, we took the decision to take the MadPea Productions brand and divide it into 3 very clear sub-brands, and they are MadPea Games, MadPea Design, and MadPea Events. So all the games will fall quite naturally under MadPea Games. Everything that we sell and is the sort of commercial arm, if you like, of MadPea, it falls under the MadPea Design banner. So our gacha sets at arcade, etc. And then we have MadPea Events, and that will be things like the charity auction, and also Swag Bag, which we're behind as well.
What is Swag Bag?
Swag Bag is a mystery, men's mystery case, which we're launching on the 1st of August with 15 of Second Life's top male orientated brands. So it's a bit like the sort of real life Loot Crate type ideas. It's that people will buy the box sight unseen, and then get a lovely surprise when they get all their goodies in one go come 1st of August.
Will it be different for each person who gets a box? Will they all be the same?
So it'll be the same box that will go out to everybody who's signed up for that particular month, and then the items will change each month. Right. So and there may be a little theme to the boxes as well.
Aha. I was thinking that it could be quite interesting, because I think it's lovely that it's going to be a surprise, but that's only until the first bloggers get their hands on it, unless you're planning on swearing them all to secrecy.
No, the bloggers won't get the box until the day it's launched. So everybody, bloggers and the people that have purchased it, will get it on the same day.
Aha.
No, the only people that will know what's in the box, that will know everything that is in the box, will be myself, Kiana, and probably Gaius, our scripting team manager.
Right. So this is something good for people to sign up for, men to sign up for. How much?
Oh, absolutely. I can't tell you that. Yeah, we haven't revealed that. What we've done so far is we've announced which brands are taking part, and we've said it's coming soon. And we have a Facebook page and an in-world group for guys to sign up to, and women. The women can join the group and find out what's going on with the box and nag their men into getting it. That's the plan. But the reason that we've done it is Kiana and I certainly shop a lot. And as you know, I blog as well. And we are spoiled for choice as women, and men do get a little bit of a woeful time as far as events and sort of men-only events anyway. So we've done it particularly for men to give them something extra. There's plenty of room for more sort of male events, we think, and it's a lot better than it used to be, but there's still plenty of room to bring out more male product.
Ken never has the same wardrobe range as Barbie.
No, true.
So, are you able to tell me any of the plans for the future games? You said you've got 6 going on at the moment.
Well, we've got six projects going on. That would include things like Swag Bag and the charity auction as well. But Kiana has announced what our next big game will be, and I know she's particularly excited about it, so she's probably best placed to talk about that one.
Yes, please.
No, I'm wondering, which big we're actually
Mil Kolish has just asked, will there be any clothes for the male aesthetic mesh Avi and Kiana?
Yeah, I don't think we can answer that just yet, but once yeah, we will inform you as soon as we know what's happening more. Well, Kess will. But for the games, so we are bringing back our Lost Treasure of the Inca Warrior that first was on the grid in 2013, and it was insanely popular, and I think we only had it up for like a month, and it has been like one of the most requested games, and we noticed that when we brought Petenville back in October, that people really liked the fact that we're bringing our old games back, because like there's so many new Ps now out there that never have played the games, and that is like one of the challenges on this platform, that we just don't really have the space to keep them like out there for so long. So we're doing sort of a mix of like bringing back old ones, and when we like say that we're bringing back old ones, we just, there's no way to restore them, so we still have to do them again, and it is like we're bringing them back like bigger and better, and it's just like really super exciting. Like everybody in the team is so excited about doing this because it's full of like death traps and puzzles. So it's like, how many ways can we kill the players? That is like, so exciting. So this is
that one. I remember dying on multiple occasions.
Oh my gosh, you have to play again, because this is gonna be even better this time, and we're just like so happy to bring it back, and so that's coming in 1st of August as well. So we have so much coming in August, but before that we have something a bit smaller coming, and I can say that it's going to be something that we wanted to see if people are interested in, that they can play at homes and that they can play with their friends, that they don't need to go on a grid-wide hunt, so to speak. I don't want to say too much yet, but it'll be interesting to see how our P community will like the sort of smaller mysteries. And then we have something absolutely massive coming by the end of the year. I don't want to give a date yet because Kess will kill me.
She's not even joking.
I'm not. I'm really not. Yeah. So we just have and the worst part is that like when we're working on like something, like now we have been working on these games, and I just suddenly realized that, oh my God, I have another game idea that this needs to like come out. And it's just waiting there. So there's another big game after the next big game that's not even out yet. So we're really, really just like on fire here right now, just like pushing new games out there for people because, well, we love doing them and we enjoy doing them. And I really hope that what we do here, that we could like encourage other people, other creators to do them as well, because I would really love to play games too. That would be so great, and I would really like to show people like outside of Second Life as well that how you can really use this platform to making games, to make interactive, to make immersive narrative games, and it is just like so much fun.
Have you designed many games outside of Second Life? I mean, have MadPea tried any other platforms?
Not yet. We are. It is. How should I say this? Maybe Kess should answer because I always say too much. We've been invited to certain things, but we've not been so sure about them just yet. So we've been very careful about other platforms at this moment because what we do here, we're really, really comfortable with what we do, and we have a nice following, and we're happy. But there are so many new platforms like rising with the whole rise of the virtual technology, virtual reality, and there's a lot of opportunities. So we do have our options open, and we are designing with the eye of like thinking about these other platforms too. But no matter what we are going to do, we're always going to have our base here in Second Life. We started here in Second Life, and it has like enabled us to do so much. It's really amazing, and we will be here somehow, no matter how long, as long as Second Life lasts, pretty much.
Yeah, I think we'll be the last ones out turning the lights off at the end, if it ever comes.
Yeah, indeed.
From chats with various Lindens over the last few years, I think you'll probably need, you'll certainly be on Zimmer frames by the time you get to the exit, as they have a long roadmap for this.
Yeah, they do. I've seen a lot of, actually lately, not so much anymore, but there used to be like a few months ago, like everywhere you went, it was kind of like Second Life. What is the point of doing anything here? There are no people coming here. And I know this was something we talked about before in our previous interview, but it's still the same. It's like every week our community is growing, our games are growing. There is like a constant growth. And I just don't see that, like, how can Second Life be dying? Because like we are living proof that it's not. It is getting bigger if you are able to adapt and change with the changes that they make. And still, like Linden Lab is doing constantly new tools for the creators that we can use for our games. So like with the Inca game now, for example, 2013, we did something that was awesome back in then, but now we can do something even more impressive that is gonna just blow people away. Well, literally, but
Well, you do blow people away. I mean, I have died so many times in your game.
it is so enjoyable to do that, I have to say.
Yeah. No, Safi has been abducted, blown up, killed,
Yes.
attacked by worms.
Sometimes on the Designing World show, some episodes I feel like Kenny.
Oh my God, that's so funny. We have to make a video about that with the hoodie as well.
Yes.
Oh no! You Safi!
Hoodie. Yes. Safia. Yeah.
Okay.
They killed Safia.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
Okay, so I believe you've got something here at SL13b. Would you like to tell us about that?
Yeah, we have, now I'm going to get this the wrong way around now. Mad Monster Mountain. I think there's so many M words at MadPea all the time, which is a ride that uses Second Life experience tools and takes you on pretty much a little bit of a journey through some of people's favorite aspects and characters from our MadPea games over the last few years. And there is a little bit of a preview in there of what's to come with some of the Inca items as well. I don't know if Kiana wants to talk a little bit more about what her sort of
There's
thought process was putting it together.
there's also something completely new that's in the Mad Monster Mountain. I don't want to say like too much because I really want to see if people will figure it out. But if they do, they see something there that is like a huge, huge hint to our coming games because we're gonna like go level up and introduce a whole new system to our games, and we're just super excited.
Are you going to be working? I mean, one of the lovely things about MadPea games is the fun of playing it with friends. Are you going to be doing that? I know that with the interview, you were experimenting.
This whole theme about shared adventure, it is like it's so huge, and I have to say that like the feedback that we get from our piece, there's so many emotions that I always like get so happy when I get that feedback that we have affected like people's feelings. They're making friends, they're finding their life partners or whatever during our games. And I was excited about this SL13b, about the theme with the shared adventure, and we wanted to make sure that we can fit in enough people in that one cart that they can go there together and scream and look at things together. And that's something now with we're relaunching the interview in July. And one of the things, this is actually the first time I think Kess were mentioning it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. She's gonna look at me like okay. We are going to introduce a party function, which means that you can play the game with your partner or with your friends, your family, your group, basically. And so that means that if you get stuck in a puzzle, because some of them are apparently really hard, um, then somebody else in your party can solve it, and it will solve the puzzle for the rest of the people as well in the party, and this will help you like move forward together. And we have been like beta testing this, and it's looking really good. So we're very confident to release it. And the feedback that we got from our testers that this has been something that has been really, really sort of wanted feature, that people can play together. They can still play alone, but that they have the option that if they want to share the experience with other people, they can totally do that. So that's really exciting, and we'll have to see how that goes with the interview, if it's something that we want to then bring on to the further games. But I really believe that that's gonna be a big hit, and that we want to have in our future games as well.
It's certainly the feedback I get from people as well, is that they will enjoy playing the games together and with other people and friends. Very few people particularly want to solo the games, and that's why the MadPea community is such a big thing. We've got 12,000 avatars in there who all get to talking about the games, and obviously lots of people from the MadPea community are here in the audience as well. Very supportive of each other. We really are lucky to have the kind of community that we have, and we think the party system, which we obviously have to do now because Kiana's announced it, about the party. The party system would just add
we're
to that
definitely doing it.
completely.
The another thing you've introduced with the interview, which I believe has been very successful, is a sort of in-game coinage which could be used to get more clues. Have I got that right?
Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
I
they
believe that's been more successful than you were expecting.
absolutely. I sort of like yeah, when we thought about it, I wasn't like sure that, if people would be like interested actually to do this sort of micro transactions to pay for things, because we do have the community as well. But like Kess said, that most people don't like to play solo. I do. I hate playing with others. But so this like gives the opportunity to people who are playing alone. Well, right now they don't have other choice, but they can get some extra clues for the game. So they can spend like 1 coin and they get a clue from the phone that we have in every room, and to be able to advance in a game. And they also, if they get really, really stuck in the game, they can just spend a few coins and completely overwrite the puzzle. I like to make, well, actually, it all comes from the fact that I really like to make things challenging for people. I don't want to just do some easy games that everybody can just like, do within a matter of minutes and just like move from one place to another. I like to really make them think. So like our puzzles really like vary from the difficulty levels. Like some of them are sort of simple and some of them are very challenging. But like all the clues that you need are in the rooms. And I like to sort of encourage people to think, to do the games, because like the feeling that you get once you have like really accomplished something, that there's something really difficult and you realize that, okay, I can't do this, but I'm gonna try, and then you eventually do it. It feels so amazing, and this is what I really want to bring to our players. But sometimes like I understand, for example, like one thing our games is that currently, apart from one game, all of our games have been in English, and I'm not a native English speaker, and we have like many other people from like different nationalities that don't speak English, and I don't want them to sort of get stuck like just because they don't fully understand like what's expected of them if they don't understand the hint. So we needed to really like create something that would enable them to move past that point, or if they are like struggling with time, like we know that there are people who want to play games like if we look at like mobile games, for example, they want to play them fast when they're like doing something, I don't know, waiting for the food to cook or something. So we wanted to really give those kind of sort of casual gamers an opportunity to sort of be able to move forward faster, to able to reach the end, to still like experience the story, to get all the narrative, to get all the excitement and get all the prizes, and give them the opportunity to buy the coins and to move forward to the end like faster than it would take them normally. And I wasn't sure, like, will people like complain that they have to buy coins for that, or like how will it go? And to my surprise, it has been really, really a huge success, and that's definitely something that we're going to do in future as well.
That's interesting. I mean, one of the things we talked about last year, and I guess it's still very much the case, is that there's a terrific time investment in all of your games. There's a terrific skill investment, and there's also the practical investment of the stores that you approach and give, and that it contribute gifts to the MadPea games for the prizes. And yet there's quite a lot of people who complain about the price of your games, which is tiny, tiny, tiny.
I think less so than this time last year. I know when we spoke to you this time last year, it was quite a sort of hot subject with us, and we definitely don't hear as much complaint. Maybe people have sort of wised up to the fact that, it's not going to change. We are going to charge for them because we have costs to cover. And we have to cover those costs. We are a team of, well, now almost 20, I think, people as well. And, we're investing a lot of our time and effort in that. And whilst seeing people play the games is a reward, we have personal costs as well to being within Second Life. So there's that side of it. I still think, though, that there is a lot of work to do around encouraging people to consider spending money on experiences, and that how much value experiences have within Second Life. Now, as I mentioned to you, we have currently 3 games running in Second Life, which are Unia, The Interview, and the Ghost Town. Ghost Town, we produced for Firestorm at the Firestorm region, and it's free to play. The idea was that it would be a learning experience for new avatars joining Second Life, so it would be part of almost the tutorial process for how to move your avatar and how to interact with objects and people and that kind of thing. So that game is free to play, and then we have the other 2 games which have an associated cost to play them. And obviously more people play Ghost Town than play our other games. So we do have a piece of work, or I particularly have a piece of work to do around how do we get those players who experience the game and by all accounts love it because they're leaving great comments in the guest book and we get great feedback about it. How do we turn those players from that free game into people that want to come and play our other games as well? Because that Ghost Town game is just a taster. It would be one level in one of our big games. And as you know, Unia has about 15 levels and different areas and rooms. So we want them to come and see the bigger scale of things. But we also have a piece of work to do around educating people that experiences are valuable in Second Life, to the same level as most people value shopping. And guilty of that, trust me, I'm completely guilty of that. Let's make people think, when they go to a sim, for example, not necessarily a MadPea sim, but a photography sim or an art sim, I always donate to the sim because I realise there's a cost for having that sim, but also a lot of work and time and effort has gone into producing that sim. And the same with the games that we do.
So, I mean, you say that things seem to have improved. Did you find, when I spoke to you earlier in the year, you were finding quite a take-up from Ghost Town to the main games? People did seem to be willing to do these crossovers and move on from one to the other. Has that sort of maintained itself?
We still do get some crossover, but I think we probably get, or we have had in the past, people have gone from playing the Ghost Town to playing our other games at the entry level, which up till now has been the sort of Bronze HUD level, which doesn't come with any prizes, so they can still go and see the game, etc. But I think moving forward, we probably have to review that, because essentially the bit that takes all the work and has all the costs is producing the game. I certainly feel and I think is something that we should be quite open and honest about, is that we need to charge more for that, even at the lowest entry level for the game, because that's the bit, it's the experience that you know, costs the money to produce, and that's what people are really paying for.
Right. It's an interesting question of persuading people to pay for experiences in Second Life.
But I think there's generally a change in people's perspective around things like this and what they're willing to pay for. As you know, separate from MadPea, I used to own a club in Second Life, and I had a very successful club for five and a half years. But it became ever more difficult to run a regular club and get staff and so on and so forth. And they're money pits. Club owners don't make money. They spend money. So I decided to close that club. Now, what I'm seeing, because I still DJ at some other places, is a move towards private sims that have clubs where there is a payment to join the group. So the club owners are essentially, well, not club owners, sim owners, and people are willing to pay 500, 600, up to 1,000 lindens to join a group to have access to that venue. And I think there's been quite a change in people valuing what the experience of going to those type of places is, compared to going to a regular bog standard, you know, Second Life club. And I think that is part of this change in people's perception about what you want your Second Life experience to be.
That's very interesting. I'm just looking at people flying around. I don't think they want to come and join us. That's good. I was going to turn to something else that MadPea does, because I think you've got some very exciting plans for this year. That's the support you give with events each year, particularly one big event in the autumn for Feed a Smile.
Yes, we do. We do have huge plans for this. So for those of you that... Yes, I think I can. Well, you already know quite a bit of it, Safia, because I've enrolled your help in this one. But and I think I can probably say the dates, because as much as possible I want people to have the dates in mind. But last year, well, for the last 2 years, we've held a celebrity auction within Second Life, where Second Life well-known residents, from artists and photographers, singers, people like yourself, Safia, Jessica Lyon from Firestorm, Drax, Kiana, have put themselves up for auction to raise money for Feed a Smile. Particularly for Live and Learn in Kenya, which is the charity that sits behind the Feed a Smile. Last year, with the aim of, I know you are, I've already put your name on the list, Kiana. So last year we raised 1.7 million lindens in just over 36 hours of actual auctions. I think it was. We had an absolutely wonderful weekend, but the most important thing was that we were able to complete the building of a school classroom in Nakuru in Kenya. And I know that they're very keen to build the next classroom. And last year we did the event on, well, actually the sim where my club was at the time. So we could only have about 70 people on the sim at any one time. But you know, we had a really great time. This year, Jessica Lyon from Firestorm has very kindly donated 4 sims for us to use for the event, which means that we will have a stage sim and then 3 sims worth of area for people to come in. And we do plan to have a lot more events, a lot more people to bid on. We're going to have live music, DJs. What else? We're going to have a art exhibition and live dance performances. So we're going to have a thoroughly good weekend, but I'm hoping that we are going to get over that 2 million mark and complete the building of that 4th classroom for Live and Learn in Kenya. And you're going to help me with that, Safia, by the way. Have I lost sound or crashed or something?
It was me. My voice
Nope.
was off. I was going to say, it does sound incredibly exciting. I'm really looking forward to that week and getting down to plotting once all this is over.
Yes. We'll give ourselves a couple of days off after SL13b.
I can't wait.
I know that I've been discussing one idea with someone that I think will be an absolute hit. Not going to say any more, but yeah, I've been talking to a friend and we have a little plot in mind.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about that. I think
I
I
like
probably
the
know
sound of
who
it.
this friend is as well.
And that my lips are now sealed. So, right. We have a few minutes before the top of the hour when Kess and I are going to be doing another interview. This time it's going to be a promo for the music fest that's happening at the end of the week. So I hope everyone's going to stay on for that too. But before we finish here, I was going to say, are there any questions from the audience? Is there anything that people would like to ask about MadPea now that you've got Kiana and Kess as a captive audience on the sofa? And do remember it's a G-rated sim. Good question, Laban. Is MadPea investigating Project Sansar?
MadPea is waiting for Linden Lab to invite us to Project Sensor, so I hope that is happening very soon.
Right. Yes, invites seem to be a bit stalled at the moment.
Ask me that again after Safia and I have done Meet the Lindens with Pete and Ciola on Thursday or whenever it is.
Yeah. Unia is not going to be revamped. Unia is going to be closing July 31st with a huge bang. So we're going to have a massive Unia closing party, and we will inform you about that, and I hope you will all join us then. But sadly, what the Unia, as we know, it is not going to continue, at least on this platform. But I would like to say that Unia, the whole saga, what you saw is just the first part of Unia, really, and there has been like 4 planned, so it will come out one day somewhere, I don't know where, but I want to make sure that people get to experience the whole story.
That sounds fantastic.
You still have enough time to do it. I mean, it's yeah, you got plenty of time.
We originally,
now,
when we originally launched Unia, we gave a guideline of from start to finish probably approximately 20 hours of game time Obviously, you do not have to do that all in one go, although some very mad peas did. And it depends how much time you want to spend building your points up and what prizes you want to get at the end.
Yeah, I'd like to actually emphasize that people often ask us this question in the group chat. "Oh, do I have time to do everything? And I only have like 1 or 2 hours to play." And like everything that we do, well, okay, maybe not the Mad Monster Mountain, but like the games that we do, your progress is stored. And unlike maybe some previous things or some other things that you see on the grid, all the progress, the game progress is stored within our servers, and there are external servers. So you can play 15 minutes, you can play 1 hour, you can play 2 hours, and you can stop at any point. And the next time you return, you will be back to where you started. Well, not where you started, where you stopped. So you never have to think that, oh my God, I need to have a certain amount of hours to do this completely at one go. But just like, take your time. And actually, I think that it's even better that you just like take like little breaks between the game rooms in the interview or in Unia, for example, like solve one puzzle and then take some time, because like they are not the most easy ones. They're challenging, and like when you can get through one, just like get your energy back and grow your hair back and everything, and then get back to it with fresh brains. So you don't have to do it all at one go. That would be crazy. We would never ask you to do that.
So after you've done one room, you probably want to sit and pant for a while, like.
Yeah.
Remember, this is a G-rated sim, Safia.
Oh my God. Also, our new thing is going to help you with this as well, but I will not say more. You'll see that with Inka.
Okay. Right. So, any other questions from the audience? They're just commenting happily on chicken at the moment. When is Inka coming back? Yes, that's something I'd like to know as well.
August 1st.
August 1st.
Yes.
I did enjoy that one, so I look forward to playing the new
Yay!
version. Okay. Any final questions?
You have to ask something really, really difficult to Kess.
Where do you get the ideas for the riddles and puzzles?
Oh, that's
from?
not for Kess. Oh, that's just my mad mind. I don't know where they come from. It's like my brain is like this little, well, not a little. I think my brain is like this huge labyrinth, really. And like just when I think that I know the corners and this is where this lives and so on and so on, then there's another one, and there's a little voice that's like, hey, what about me? I want to be written into a game. And then I just kind of have to, because they keep talking to me. So I don't know. I am just crazy like that.
Do you write all of this yourself, or do some of the team make contributions with ideas and things?
Well, so far I have done like all the writing myself, but we do have some brainstorming in the team, and we have like really, really amazing team. And like what Kess said like before when we started this meeting, like everybody's got like many roles, and like often, what happens that I have this one idea that like, oh my God, we need to do this. We're going to do it exactly like this. And then we start talking about it. And then there's like team members are coming up with like new ideas. And what about, let's not do it this way. Let's add something like this, which always leads that we never do anything small. It gets bigger and bigger. But like we have a very, very creative team, and it's all very much a team, a full team, like a project. What's the word? I lost an English word now from my brain completely. But yeah. So I do, and I'm quite excited that we have hired some new writers as well, and I'm like slowly training them without them even knowing to help me with the writing of these things, because it's quite a big thing for myself to to do all this writing. So it's really exciting. to do these new games, and I love to bring new people into the team as well, because it takes them a little while to understand that, no, I'm being actually dead serious, that like when I have an idea, it means that we're going to make this idea to come through. And and it's just I love this. I just have to say, because it is the Second Life's 13th birthday, and I really want to say that this platform has like enabled so much for us. I have worked in gaming in real life, and there's always the challenge that um, how are you able to communicate your idea, and like how are you able to like show like what's really in your brain to the rest of the team, like when you work in games and you don't have the platform where you can do this. And here you can just like totally, you can build just with simple prims, you can build your idea that, okay, so hey, so this is going to happen there. Every time we make a game, we have a little like a game flow with just basic blocks that, okay, so player starts here, that's what happens there, and so on and so on and so on. And you just can't really do it the same way in the real time when like everybody is around, here, that you can really do this like Drax. I love Drax. He likes to call that what I do is like a micro corporation here. Like we have a global team, like we're from like all over the world here, and we can be together in the same place at the same time, and we can look at this my pink boxes indeed and say, oh yeah, I understand what you mean. So this is where the monster is gonna come and attack you, and so on and so on. And that is absolutely huge on this platform. And I just really want to thank Second Life for enabling us to do what we do here.
I know that when we came over to see you, it was fascinating to see you having
My big boxes. Yeah.
That would later be such a huge part of the game. And of course, yes, we did see some pink boxes. Perhaps someone had better explain why pink boxes and why they are so important.
Pink boxes denote that something needs some additional work, or needs a change, or it's not ready. It's in a state of unreadiness. And Kiana will go through a build or a game and do a run through, and it's a bit like somebody shared a picture the other day of like a fairy godmother with a magic wand, whisking backward and forward and making things happen. Well, Kiana does that, but instead of sort of sparkles coming out the wand, pink boxes do, and they res up everywhere and have instructions like, fix this, take the script out, change the perms on the script. And I think I said this to you during the interview that we did for Designing Worlds. Part of the key to the success of MadPea is because nothing, not one single thing, no matter how small or big, leaves MadPea and goes out into for public consumption without Kiana checking it. And approving it and saying whether a pink box can be removed or not. And that is part of why the quality of what MadPea done has been so consistent and has continued to improve, not even year on year, but week on week on week, because, everything has to be perfect before it leaves.
Right. And that sounds very sensible. And yes, I can see how that plays an important part in your success. Now, there was another question which I thought was quite interesting that we should be asking. It's, will the Mad Monster mountain ride that's set up for SL13b be available anywhere else after this celebration? Because Sadie Cat says it is amazing. Will it be available?
Kiana's got silence. I think that's my cue to answer. We would love to make it available. We would love to be able to package it together in some way that people could even have their own copies and purchase it. And we are considering ways that we could do that, because we can think of several sims, and in fact we've been approached by a couple of people to ask if it's going to be available to buy afterwards. But there are a lot of our game assets involved in the inside of that as well. So we do have some ideas of what we want to do with it. The short answer is we're not sure yet. The longer answer is that we are looking at all the possibilities for being able to make it available in some way, shape or form somewhere. But that with all the other projects that we've got going on may take us a little bit of time to do. It's not just a case of picking it up and putting it down somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it will take a bit of time.
I'd say that it's going to be a couple of months because we do have some plans, but it's going to be connected to the big game we're going to do after the big game. So, yeah, we have plans.
Now, Cadence had a question for Kess when Kiana invited her to be asked tricky questions. So I thought I would end with asking Kess, if a train is leaving MadPea at 60 miles an hour and then another train is leaving the SL13b sim at 45
I like
miles
that question.
or kilometers per hour, whatever, then what time will another gacha set and side project cause your brain to explode?
None of those things will happen because all the people on the train will be murdered by zombie chickens.
Yay!
That's a great answer. I'm proud of you, Kess. It's like, how long does it take for a MadPea member to become a murderous, evil person? I don't know. 2 years. Okay, moving on.
I think we better wrap up now because we've got another talk here at the top of the hour. So I would like to say thank you very much to my guests, Kess Crystal and Kiana Writer of MadPea.